Hey, thanks for joining. Welcome to Performance Core 102. We are going to start this video with a half moon lunge. So ladies, go ahead and lunge forward nice and big with your right leg. Even bigger. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so first you're just in this lunge position. So at home, get in this lunge position right now. Holding this position, they're going to take their lunged leg arm and reach it back behind them. And take the opposite arm and reach over their head. So they're almost like a half moon. Think about a half moon shape. Good. And push that leg back, go back to standing, and then we're gonna alternate. You can scoot it back. You don't have to like, boom, fly back. Other leg, all right? So it's long because you're getting a nice big stretch. That might be a little excessive, but I'm okay with it. If you can handle it, that's awesome, all right? Back arm, so knee let's lunge. That back arm is reaching back behind you. There you go, and up and overhead with the other. Hold, reaching, reaching, reaching. Good. And stand back up and switch legs again. All right, so those are your first 2 reps just to kind of feel it out. We're gonna keep going with this. So go ahead and go back to the first leg that we were on. Now, as you do this, you wanna rotate your torso away. You're trying to twist your torso and keeping the back arm long and the top arm curved. Awesome. Step back, repeat, other leg. So again, same leg that's forward, that's the arm that's reaching back, that's straight, and the top arm is kind of curved, getting a nice long stretch through her lat here. Awesome, step back up and switch, other leg again. Now ladies, do you feel any different as you do this? Do you feel like you're getting further? Does it feel like?
It feels like more of a stretch, like the more that I go.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome, switch, other leg. So they're saying that as they do this, you kind of open up and you start to feel it more. The first ones are just kind of awkward. And then as you get going, you actually start to feel the stretch in different places and get more benefit from it. Switch. All right, last 2. One more on each side. With this, it's also like you're trying to, although your hands are going the same direction, like you're trying to separate them. So you're trying to stay long and reaching through your fingertips the entire time. Good, switch. Last one. Reaching back, reaching up. And relax. Very good. Okay, so that was our half moon lunge. Next up, we're going to do a lunged windmill. So we're going to be in a lateral type lunge, feet fairly wide. You're going to take one arm, bend that knee and reach down towards the floor while bringing the opposite arm up to the ceiling. I'm pushing against this knee and reaching up and back behind me. The intention of this is reaching up as I push against my opposite knee. All right, so we're just going to go back and forth from one side to the other. So, yep, get as wide as you need to. Let's start with this leg, so your right leg. Yep. And stay inside and push that elbow against that knee. Good, and reach straight up, not to the side. There you go. Awesome, and then come back to standing. And then switch. Bend that knee, push against that knee. They're trying to open their chest and reach their fingertips up to the ceiling. Good, switch, other side. The more pressure you put into this knee with this elbow, the more tension you're gonna get through your back. And switch, other side. So as she comes down, she's pushing her elbow into that knee, driving through the floor, reaching up through the ceiling, elongating and twisting that chest. Good, and switch. Good, and switch. Got 2 more reps on each side, really thinking about opening that chest, twisting that back. There you go. And switch. Keep that arm pressed up to the ceiling, tall, tall, tall. There you go. And switch. 1 more on this side and 1 more on the other side. Reach, reach, reach. Block with that knee. Good, and switch. Last one. And relax. Next exercise is going to be pelvic tilts. So your pelvis, big bones here in the middle that your legs connect to, we want to be able to isolate that and be able to tilt and control your pelvis with using your abdomen, a little bit with your glutes, but not using your ribs and the rest of your body to move. So if nothing else was working, can we just get our pelvis to tilt forward and back? We're going to do this on the ground because the ground gives you feedback. And you can tell when your low back is pushed into the ground and when it's not. So go ahead and lay down on the ground. Feet are fairly close to your hips, to your butt. That's pretty good. Yeah, you guys are both great. You can put your hands on your hips so you can feel your hip bones. That can be helpful so you can see which direction they're pointing. And the first thing I want you to do is squeeze your tummy and push your low back into the ground like your tummy is sinking down. So that's going to be tilting in one direction. Then the opposite direction is going to be squeezing the back muscles and getting an excessive arch in your low back. So, yep, turn your pelvis down into the floor and your back will kind of, there you go, that's pretty good. And go the other way again, drive tummy down, low back into ground. Hold. And other way, turning under, good. And as we do this, make sure that the ribs stay nice and tight. You guys are doing great, you're not opening up at all. Also, try to make sure that your hips or butt does not come off the ground. So don't go so much that your hips leave the ground. Tilt the other way. So now your low back is pushing into the ground, but keep your butt on the ground. There we go. And tilt the other way. So it's as if we have a bowl of water and we're tipping the bowl of water forward or we're tipping the bowl of water backwards. And that's what you can think about as you're laying on the ground here. Turn the other way. Now their back is pushing into the ground, driving into the floor, squeezing and holding. And tip that bowl of water forward. There you go. Back coming off the ground, pinching the low back, making an arch, and relax. Is that hard?
Nope.
No?
It's just weird.
Okay.
Engaged it.
Yeah, engages different muscles. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. The next thing we're going to do is that same thing, but we're going to go 2 seconds one way, 2 seconds the other way. So not so much holding at the end, but instead just moving through repetitions, but slowly. So go ahead and kind of find neutral, where you're just kind of sitting there comfortably, your low back may be slightly on the ground. And from here, we're going to start by driving the low back into the ground. So tipping water behind you. So drive low back into the ground slowly, get to that end point and come back the other way. And get to that end point and come back the other way. Should take you about 2 seconds to go one direction and the other direction. Let's go ahead and do 6 more in each direction, so 12. You guys can count on your own. There was 2. So as you do this, you're thinking about keeping your rib cage tight so your ribs don't flare open. You want to try to not use like your hamstrings or your feet to be diving into the floor, to be cheating, to make that pelvis move. You just want to use your abdomen and your other pelvic type muscles to make sure that that pelvis is tilting. Having complete control of it, not compensating or using other parts of the body to help you. Again, we're doing 6 and 6 in each direction. Now, as you saw earlier, I asked the ladies how hard this was. They said, not at all. That's fine. Not everything has to be hard. What we're trying to do is find a connection between your brain and your body so that in the future, in sport, in class, wherever you are, driving, standing in line, you can have awareness of where your pelvis is at and make sure you're not spending elongated periods of time in one direction or another direction, because any type of chronic position is bad. I'm not saying one tilt or the other is better or worse, but when you spend an extended period of time in that position, that's no good. We're gonna go ahead and move on to our next one now. So you ladies can just spin around and go on your bellies. There you go. And yep, and go ahead and face me. Yeah, there we go, perfect. Awesome. So this next one we're going to do is a upward dog position. So downward dog is when you dive your head through your shoulders and you kind of look behind you. Upward dog is where you're looking up to the ceiling. But this is going to be active. So you can have your hands kind of flat on the floor like this. Yep. And the tops of your feet are on the floor. That's perfect. So not your toes. Go ahead and lay your feet flat. Yep. There you go. All right. Now from this position, you're simply going to push up with your hands. Start with that. Yep. Push up with your hands. And then what we're going to do is elevate our quads and the rest of our body, our hips, off the ground. So pushing through your toes, elevate, there you go, and holding yourself. Now drive through the hands and kind of look up towards the ceiling. Now, can you push off the tops of your feet instead? Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is activating everything. All the muscles in the legs, core are turned on, even in the back, because we're through the tops of our feet. We're not bending our feet and pushing through the floor. We're laying with our foot flat on the floor. Good. Come out of that nice and slow. Okay. Good. Relax for a second. So when we do this, you want to make sure that you're driving through the shoulders and keeping that core tight to protect that low back. You don't want to just be flexible and just flying up there. Nice and tight. Let's do another rep here. Go ahead. And push up and hold. Driving through those shoulders. There you go. And as we drive through the shoulders, I want you to make sure that your shoulders are being pulled back. So yeah, there you go. So don't let them slump forward. You want to be pulled back as we push up. A little bit more active. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Good. We'll do one more. Rest a little bit. So our checkpoints are going to be driving through the hands, locking the elbows, and not slumping the shoulders, but rolling them back and elongating, like you're trying to get distance from your shoulder to your earlobe, okay? All right, here we go, another rep. Good, shoulders, good, yep, there, that's better. And drive through that floor, all fingertips on the floor, there you go. Another 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Awesome. All right, thank you for joining us. That concludes our Core 102 video.